Everybody, and welcome to another Diamond Report. Welcome to the 2023 high school baseball season. Practice begins today, so a lot of this is stuff that I cover from year to year, but it's really important stuff. We're going to dive right in. Number one, I've linked up the NFHS baseball rules changes for this year. You've hopefully by now seen the online rules meeting and have seen those rules changes, the big ones being the jewelry rule, and then also the change to the hybrid pitching stance now being allowed. Take a look at that link and look it over before the season begins. If you are somebody that has not watched the online rules meeting, you got to get that done soon. The schedule for fees and the jumping from what is now the $25 to the $50 window, that is coming up very soon. So if you're an umpire or a coach, make sure you get that taken care of ASAP. Let's talk about radar guns and their location during games for the season. If you have a radar gun that is in use and displayed either via Bluetooth screen or some other way in real time, it can be located behind the backstop, but it's got to be manned by somebody other than team personnel. However, the pitch speed, again, has to be viewable by both teams in either the dugout or somewhere in the outfield. So again, the key here is equal access to that information in real time. If the radar gun is going to be manned by team personnel, the radar gun has to be in the dugout. And in this case, the display does not need to be viewable by both teams. Nothing has changed in that realm. I'm just reviewing it for this season. Same with the next topic, the use of video. Some coaches have recently reached out to me to try to use, they want to use video or cameras in the outfield during games. This topic is going to continue to evolve. The NFHS doesn't have any black and white rules. They have committee interpretation. So here's the guidelines for that. Again, use of video. Number one, cameras cannot be operated by any team personnel, coaches, or players in uniform. You cannot use cameras in center field. And third, a video will be recorded from outside of the dugout and used in real-time situations similar to the radar gun display. Both teams have to have access to this video if it's going to be used in real time. And if the video cannot be or will not be used during the game, it can be used and viewed after the game. And that has to happen if both teams cannot see it in real time during the game itself. So, like a lot of things, if you have questions, reach out to me. It's displayed and shown in this Diamond Report. I should also note at the same time that in high school baseball, there has not been the approval granted for communication devices from coach to catcher. So just take note of that as well. All right, now to umpires. Your manual for this year is linked up in this document. Umpires, please get your varsity schedules submitted to the NSAA website as soon as possible so our observers can start looking at those things and planning out who they will observe and when. Also, the registration deadline and information is outlined in this Diamond Report. The deadline to register is getting very close, so take note of that. Finally, umpires, if you want to be considered for postseason consideration, whether it's districts or state, the deadline applies Friday, April 7th. You'll do that on your NSAA login. Now to coaches and schools. Your schedules for high school varsity baseball is due to the NSAA website by Tuesday, March 7th. A reminder that once the season begins, schools cannot add games to their schedule. Your varsity schedule and max preps will be synced from this NSAA schedule. All JV or lower max prep schedules need to be manually put in. Also for schools, the baseball rule, now is the time to check out your facilities, signage for foul balls. I've got a great website, a great article linked up in this document. And then also schools, I want to remind you of a topic that you don't want to get caught from behind with, and this is the outside participation reminder. Now that schools have begun baseball, high school baseball, your players cannot outside participate, meaning they cannot get group instruction. They cannot, from a non-school team or a non-school coach, they cannot go to a practice or competition with any non-school team. They cannot try out for non-school teams now that the season has begun. So take note of that. Remind your players, parents, and family members as well. Be very proactive on that. We'll see you soon.